Hi everybody, my name is Boss Mode Billy. I like to make gaming content as well as other videos. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you love Roblox as much as I do. I'm going to do more gameplay videos and walkthrough tutorials in the future, so make sure you ring that bell for notifications. Welcome back to Too Many Weapons. Are you a part of the Boss Mode Nation? Let me know in the comments below if you are Boss Mode. Let's get into it, gamers. If you're anything like me, you've probably grown up watching SpongeBob SquarePants and laughing at the absurd antics of the citizens of Bikini Bottom. But as I've gotten older, I've started to realize that SpongeBob is more than just a funny cartoon character. He's actually a role model that promotes some really positive values that are sorely lacking in today's mainstream media. One of the things that I think is really noteworthy about SpongeBob is his strong work ethic and enthusiasm for his job as a fry cook at the Krusty Krab. I mean, think about it, SpongeBob is literally the most dedicated and passionate fast food worker you've ever seen. And it's not just because he's trying to impress Mr. Krabs or get a raise. He genuinely loves his job and takes pride in making the perfect Krabby Patty, and that dedication and passion are what make him so successful. This is really refreshing to see, especially when you compare it to the mainstream media's emphasis on instant gratification and getting something for nothing. So many TV shows and movies these days are all about people getting rich quick or becoming famous overnight, without having to put in any real effort or hard work. But SpongeBob shows us that it's the exact opposite. It's the people who are willing to put in the time and effort to develop their skills and pursue their passions who are ultimately the most successful and fulfilled. Another aspect of SpongeBob's character that I think is really worth exploring is the way he exemplifies the importance of friendship and community. If you look at his relationships with the other characters in the show, you can see that he's built some really deep and meaningful connections with the people around him. And it's not just because they are all convenient acquaintances or something. I mean, think about his friendship with Patrick Star. For example, on the surface, it might seem like they're just a couple of goofy buddies who like to have fun together. But if you look closer, you can see that their friendship is actually based on a really deep sense of kindness and empathy. SpongeBob is always there for Patrick, no matter what, and he's always willing to lend a listening ear or a helping hand. And it's the same with his relationships with Sandy Cheeks and even Mr. Krabs. He's able to build these strong connections with people from all walks of life, and it's because he's always approaching them with kindness and compassion. This is really powerful, especially when you compare it to the way that the mainstream media often portrays relationships as being superficial or transactional. So many TV shows and movies these days are all about people using each other for their own gain, or manipulating each other to get what they want. But SpongeBob shows us that it's possible to build meaningful connections with others through kindness and empathy, and that's a really beautiful thing. By being a good friend and a good neighbor, SpongeBob is able to create a sense of community and belonging in Bikini Bottom, and that's something that we could all learn from. The way that SpongeBob approaches life with such optimism and cheerfulness is really something that I think is worth noting, especially in a world where the mainstream media is always trying to bring us down with negative news and pessimistic outlooks. I mean, think about it, no matter what kind of crazy situation SpongeBob finds himself in, he always seems to be able to bounce back with a smile on his face and a song in his heart. Whether he's dealing with the aftermath of a Krabby Patty disaster, or trying to navigate the complexities of a wild jellyfishing adventure, SpongeBob always seems to be able to find the silver lining and remain hopeful, even when things seem bleak. And I think that's really inspiring, because it shows us that we don't have to let the negative circumstances of life get us down. We can choose to approach life with a positive attitude, just like SpongeBob does, and that can make all the difference. The mainstream media is always trying to tell us that the world is a dark and scary place, and that we should be afraid of this or that. But SpongeBob shows us that there's a different way to live. By being optimistic and cheerful, SpongeBob is able to inspire the people around him, and even to change the world in small but meaningful ways. And I think that's something that we could all learn from, especially in a world where it's easy to get caught up in the negativity and pessimism that's always being fed to us. By adopting a positive outlook, just like SpongeBob, we can start to see the world in a different way and to approach life's challenges with a sense of hope and enthusiasm rather than fear and despair. One of the things that I think is really beautiful about SpongeBob's character is his innocence and naivety. In a world where the mainstream media is always trying to make us cynical and skeptical, SpongeBob's trusting and innocent nature is a breath of fresh air. He's not jaded or world-weary, and he doesn't assume that everyone is out to get him or that the world is a bad place. Instead, he approaches life with a sense of wonder and curiosity, and he always tries to see the best in people and situations. This is really refreshing, especially when you compare it to the way that the mainstream media often tries to make us doubt and question everything. I mean, think about it. How many times have you seen a news story or a TV show that's all about exposing the dark underbelly of something, or revealing the hidden truth behind some supposedly nefarious plot? It's like the media is always trying to make us think that everyone is hiding something, and that nothing is as it seems. But SpongeBob shows us that it's okay to trust in the good nature of others, and to assume that people are generally trying to do the right thing. His innocence and naivety serve as a counterbalance to all the cynicism and skepticism that's out there, and they remind us of the value of simplicity and trusting in others. By being so open and honest, SpongeBob is able to build strong relationships with the people around him, and to create a sense of community and connection that's really beautiful to see. And I think that's something that we could all learn from, especially in a world where it's easy to get caught up in the negativity and distrust that's always being promoted by the mainstream media. By embracing our own innocence and naivety, and by trusting in the good nature of others, we can start to see the world in a different way, and to approach life with a sense of wonder and curiosity, rather than cynicism and skepticism. Another aspect of SpongeBob's character that I think is really worth highlighting is his ability to learn from his mistakes and take responsibility for his actions. In a world where the mainstream media often glorifies reckless behavior and disregard for consequences, SpongeBob shows us that it's okay to make mistakes, and that the important thing is to learn from them and try to do better next time. I mean, think about it. How many times have you seen a TV show or movie where the main character does something crazy and irresponsible, and then just gets away with it without any consequences? It's like the media is trying to tell us that we can just do whatever we want, without ever having to think about how our actions might affect others or ourselves in the long run. But SpongeBob is different. When he makes a mistake, he always owns up to it and tries to make things right. He doesn't try to blame someone else or make excuses. He just takes responsibility for his actions and tries to learn from the experience. This is a really positive example for viewers, especially kids, because it teaches them the importance of accountability and personal responsibility, by showing us that it's okay to make mistakes, and that we can always learn and grow from them. SpongeBob encourages us to adopt a growth mindset and to approach life with a sense of humility and curiosity. This is in stark contrast to the mainstream media's tendency to glorify reckless behavior and disregard for consequences, which can be really damaging and toxic. By rejecting this kind of mindset and embracing a more responsible and accountable approach to life, we can start to build stronger, more positive relationships with others, and to create a better world for everyone. SpongeBob's ability to learn from his mistakes and take responsibility for his actions is a powerful reminder that we all have the power to choose how we want to live our lives, and to make a positive impact on the world around us. Ultimately, I think what really makes SpongeBob a powerful role model against the satanic mainstream media's attempts to corrupt and manipulate individuals is his unwavering commitment to his values and his refusal to compromise his integrity in the face of pressure from those around him. I mean, think about it. How many times has SpongeBob been tempted to give in to the negative influences of those around him, whether it's Squidward's cynicism or Plankton's deceitful schemes? But every time, he's managed to stay true to himself and his values, and to come out on top. This is a really powerful message, especially in a world where the mainstream media is always trying to tempt us with shortcuts and easy answers, and to lure us away from our values and principles. The media is always trying to tell us that we need to be more like everyone else, that we need to conform to societal norms and expectations in order to be successful and happy. But SpongeBob shows us that this isn't true, that we can be successful and happy by being ourselves, and by staying true to our values and principles. By refusing to compromise his integrity, SpongeBob is able to maintain his autonomy and individuality, and to resist the mainstream media's attempts to manipulate and control him. This is a really important lesson, especially for kids who are often vulnerable to the media's influence and pressure. By showing us that it's okay to be different, and that we don't have to give in to the negative influences around us, SpongeBob is teaching us a powerful lesson about the importance of staying true to ourselves and our values. And I think that's something that we can all learn from, no matter how old we are. In a world where the mainstream media is always trying to corrupt and manipulate us through deceit and temptation, SpongeBob is a shining example of the power of integrity and values. He's a reminder that we don't have to give in to the pressure and temptation, that we can stay true to ourselves and our principles, and that we can come out on top by being who we are and staying committed to our values. Thanks for watching! If you want to see more of this content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that notification bell. Peace out, gamers!